everybody. In today's video, we have special guest, Jonathan, who is the founder and CSO of the company PLAYA3ULL GAMES. Hi, Jonathan. Thank you for joining us today. Yeah, I'm very curious about your team, your company, and maybe you could firstly share some words about what you are doing, what is your company is about, something like that.
Okay. Well, PLAYA3ULL GAMES, in a sentence or two, is a gaming producer, and we've raised money through crypto. So we've got our own coin, and we have nodes, and we've used that money we've raised to put into a bank account, and then we fund real life gaming studios who are building real life games. So unlike most crypto projects, the game they're building is very, very basic, not very good. We're actually helping real world developers build proper games that you would just play normally. Like, oh, I'm home from work, I want to go play a game. What do I play? Oh, I'll play Call of Duty, or I'll play League of Legends, or World of Warcraft. And we're not building a World of Warcraft, it's an MMO. They're about 300 million to build. So we're not building one of those. There's talk about doing it later if we make that much money. But at this point, we've got a rule, we're not going to be doing an MMO. But we are doing AA games, so very high quality, professional type games, and we fund the studio to make them. So we pay their bills, and we actually give them a business team as well, so they can just concentrate on the creative and build great games.
Yeah, and you know what is like what I noticed so far, that it is based on the nodes, right? And I'm curious why you're using those nodes and why it's like the base of your ecosystem. Yeah, because
okay, well, no.
You know, even the crypto people like me, a lot of people investing in crypto, but not all the people understanding what are those nodes means, master nodes. Yeah. Maybe you could give some explanation for a wider audience, what is it and why it's needed.
Well, like every blockchain's built with nodes. So the way Bitcoin works is it's built on a bunch of nodes, and a node just means a computer somewhere, basically. So Bitcoin has 80,000 computers spread out across the world that are running Bitcoin hardware, and that Bitcoin software on that hardware, and that's what makes it diversified. And that's why when China says we're going to ban Bitcoin, they don't ban Bitcoin; they just stop themselves making money out of it. So Bitcoin goes along fine. The 30,000 or so nodes that were in China shut down and then moved somewhere else and then started up again. So the 80,000 nodes are still there. They're just spread out in a different place now. So no one government can shut down a blockchain. That's the beauty of it. So nodes traditionally have just been a mine, and that was proof of work. And then they changed, well, Ethereum's just changed to, which is proof of stake. Yeah. And our nodes are a little bit different. So our nodes, basically, you pay cash for the node, and that gives you the right for the node to produce coins for you. So sort of like mining, but not mining. It doesn't take very much power.
Is it 4,400 for now?
That's what it costs, yeah, $4,400 US is what one node costs right now. And it currently makes about 1,500 bull coins a day for you. Now, at the moment, that's only like $3 because with the bear market and crypto winter, it's terrible return on investment. It take about 4 years to get your money back on your node. But when our coin price comes back up to about $0.01, which will happen as soon as the bull run starts. So the way coin prices basically work is when you go into crypto winter, everything outside of the top 20 stocks basically falls away. So the colloquial term is shitcoins. So technically we're a shitcoin. So there's Bitcoin, Ethereum, a couple of others, and then everything else is shitcoin.
Altcoins.
Altcoins, yeah, we can call them altcoins. That's a much more pleasant word, yes.
Yeah, true.
So we're currently the 3,000th coin in the world out of 40,000 or whatever there is.
In coin.
Yeah, so we're currently around about 2,500 or 3,000. Varies depending on who goes out of business and whatever happens. Luckily, we've raised a lot of money in our initial we started at the very end of the bull market. So we got a month of really good value and we were able to save that money. And so we've got that stored to keep paying all that. We've got 33 staff now. We're paying all those staff. I've got business people and financial managers managing all that money. So it's all managed properly and we'll make it through the bear market. Once the bear market starts properly, once the bull market starts properly, all the coins price start going up. So like Bitcoin's currently 20,000. Well, obviously it's going to be the first one to start recovering. And once it starts recovering, then the altcoins follow along. And so it just keeps cascading down the line. So at some point, people will realize Bitcoin's too expensive and then the money comes out. So if Bitcoin goes, so depending on who you listen to, Bitcoin's going to go to 100,000, 500,000, or even $1 million this next 12 months. So we'll see whatever it does. So I don't know. I'm sort of thinking Bitcoin will go to like 100,000, maybe 150, 200, who knows?
Yeah.
But once it gets there, the money then pours off that and people start selling and they use that money to put into altcoins. And so it just keeps falling down the line. And then some people go, well, what can I buy now that might be like Bitcoin next year or the year later? And that's where we fit in. So in those 2,000 to 4,000 range, they're what we call micro cap stocks. We're only capitalized at $1 million at the moment. And we've raised a bit more than that because we had our node sales. So we've got several $1 million in the bank. But as our coin price comes back to 1 cent, then our ROI on our node's 9 months. So suddenly the nodes will start selling again, which will give us more cash, which then allows us to buy more games, which then adds our utility because those games are using Bullcoin. And so it starts to become a cycle again. And this time, unlike last time where we started in the last month of the bull market, this time we've had all of the bear market, like all our marketing teams working now, all of our game developers are working now. So we're building all the pieces in place now. And if you follow our weekly videos, we've got weekly roundups we do every week saying what's going on. We're doing things every week right now. So when people start looking next bull run and say, oh, what could I invest in that might be ready to go boom, then hopefully they're going to find us and go, oh my goodness, look at this guy. This guy's heading up this team of 33 people and they've done all this stuff and it was only really small last bull run, but this bull run it might be ready to zoom. And so we should see all of our 50,000 nodes sell this time and our coin price should hit around about 50 cents. Now, we don't know. It could hit 10 cents or it could hit 20 cents or whatever.
But like the main target for most of the investors, I think it's 50 cents. And it's like, this is so like macro cap coin and it has really potential to like make 100x, let's say. So, and once the bull market, once the bull market starts, people are starting looking at so different like coins, trying to pick the gems. So we just like need to be very patient. And for you, like, especially with those like really hard time in crypto, it's like very like.
Well, I mean, sorry, you raise a really good point there. Like picking gems can be really hard, right? So I've got like a 5-prong plan to pick a gem. So if you do these things, presuming I can remember them all, we'll see how I go. So the first thing is the industry that the company is in growing? So we're in gaming. So is the gaming industry across the world growing or dying at the moment? Well, it's doubling every 2 years. That's the whole gaming industry. That's mobile phone games, PC games, PlayStation, Xbox. The whole gaming industry is doubling every 2 years. So it's growing, it's growing. So is the industry growing? Well, yes, gaming's growing. Is the team doxed? So can you look at the members of the team? We've got 33 staff. Can you find those 33 staff and see, are they real people? Or are they all hidden anonymously on the web saying, oh, we're too scared to show our faces because we might want to run away with your money?
Yes, that's why I like that you put all like LinkedIn to team. It's very like it makes much more like you promise the project a lot because it shows the faces and who is involved, what they're doing.
Well, what I can't promise is we're going to be successful because I can't control the future.
Mm.
But what I can promise is our faces are out there. If we fail, yes, you'll lose the money you put in. That's true. But my life will probably be ruined. So like, that's the thing, is that when you're doxxed, your reputation's on the line. Like, everyone knows who I am. I do videos every day. I'm interviewed by multiple people. Come next bull run, if you type in old bull into the Google search engine, I'll be found. So my country I live in, you know, it wouldn't be hard really to find out, you know, what state I live in, and, you know, but yeah, so we're very motivated to be successful, not to muck it up. So you've got to make sure the team's doxed. The third thing is you've got to make sure the team is qualified to do what they do. So someone said to me the other day, oh, but you've never built a game in your life. I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm not building games. I'm raising the money to give to the people that make the games. The people we're hiring, we've hired Daniel Visser, 20-year game veteran, sold his personal company for $20 million, runs Microsoft Age of Empires. They've hired him to actually do Age of Empires, to run it all the time and keep it up to date and running, because it's an old game now. But Microsoft trusts him to run their stuff. So they're the sort of people that we've brought in. Michael Hanlon, our CEO, 3 business degrees, a Bachelor of Business, majoring in accounting, international Masters of Business, and an MBA. So he runs my business for me. I don't run the business. I'm a marketer. My job's to speak nice things and have great ideas. That's what I do.
Yeah.
But I've got a master's in marketing. My wife is the CMO. She has a master's in marketing. All right. All of our game devs have been building games for multiple years. Those game dev teams, we've just been through one of our teams, and a couple of people we had to let go. They weren't qualified enough, and they were taking too long to do stuff. So we had to basically say, look, it's been lovely. Thanks for your help, but we're going to have to move on and hire someone who's a bit more experienced. So that's one. So, and that's the business side of us. There's a great saying. They call it show business, not show friends. So when you're in business, it's not time to be looking after all your friends and your mates. We've got a business to run. So that's the third thing. Are the people qualified to do their job? The fourth thing, I can't remember. There's 5 things. Anyway, I should write those down, shouldn't I? They're on my...
Yeah, if like the team, if you can like able to hire the right people, so it's like the founder or managers, they cannot know all the spheres of the business. They just need to make sure the right people are on the right places, and then it will work. Everything will work. And how did you come up with the idea to start like gaming and move to the gaming industry?
Oh, I'm a gamer by heart.
You spend your time in gaming, right?
Absolutely, and it's a family joke that we've actually made money out of this, because up until last year when we made money out of this, everyone was laughing at I wasted so much time playing games. So like that's where, and I said to my wife at breakfast the other morning, I said, you know what's really funny about all this? And she said, no, what? And I said, people are going to look at you and say you're a genius for hanging out with me for 22 years, you know, because for those 22 years it's been, oh, Jono is such a failure. You know, he keeps doing his marketing stuff and he has all these ideas, and, you know, so, but obviously when one gets hit out of the park, it's funny and it looks good. But I didn't really have, so gaming is something I've been involved in. I met a guy, I was running a Daisy server. Daisy's an online game. It's a 15-year-old game that I still play every now and then. And it's a survival game. So you get dropped into a world and you try and survive. And I met a guy, I was running a server for that, and I met a guy on that server, and he was a gaming developer and he had no money. And so he said, if I just had some money, I could finish this fantastic game I'm building. And I've got a small team that's working on it part-time, but it's taking forever because we've got no money. And I'd heard of Gala Games because my boys had just bought one of their nodes. And my boys had asked for an investment, and I sort of helped them out doing some research. And my boys put, it was $6,700, and they put half in each, and they bought a node. And Gala was doing what we're doing now. They were looking for gaming developers to build proper games.
So it's like same model for Gala Games. And
yes, that's exactly right. And I approached Gala and I asked them for $1 million for this Australian company. And they said yes. And they gave that guy $1 million. And then a long story after that. But basically, I ended up not working for that guy. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to do what Gala's done. I'm going to try and copy what they've done. I've made some changes. I brought in a team of business people rather than just being all gamers. I don't think it's good to have all gamers in the top. There's a whole business side to running a business that's not gaming. So have the gaming people where they need to be, developing the games. And Daniel Viss is our head of games, and he brings a lot of experience of running a very successful studio. But each of our dev companies are professional dev companies.
And you said you have 33 people in the team, right, for now? Yeah, and those are like developers, marketers, what kind of different like departments or positions?
We've got obviously a CEO, CMO, so Chief Marketing Officer. I'm head of ideas, like CSO, strategy. I help Amanda with marketing. We obviously live in the same house, and we've got, I think it's 20 people across 3 dev teams. So it's 25 or something. And then we've got 3 or 4 other people in marketing. So doing social media, helping with content creation. We've got a video editor. So the marketing team's quite big. I think there's 7 or 8 people in the marketing team across everything. I'd have to have a list and look at all of it. So it grows, it's growing every day. We're hiring people.
Quite a lot of people on your team already.
Well, we're about to spend a lot of money hiring a PR company. So as we get closer to the bull market, we want to make sure our PR is correct, because the thing about marketing is you've got to pay for marketing, and you either pay for it internally or you pay for it externally by paying influencers or paying. The thing about PR is you pay the PR company and then they create the hype out in the market through general media. So that's a very different system to what I do. My expertise is marketing. So yeah, getting the message right. And it takes time. Like it's been 6 months now, and we're just getting the message right now. We're just starting to get what Playable Games is and how it fits into the market.
Yeah, and like gaming was like the narrative all the last year, and it's a lot of different gaming companies launched during this period of time. And do you think that like the crypto space now is competitive with different gaming companies? Like it's maybe hard to be a competitor for others? Or...
Well, in marketing, there's a rule, they call it the rule of 2. So there's always a forward and there's always a GM. So there's always a Coca-Cola, there's always a Pepsi. There's always Red Bull, there's always Mother. There's always Adidas, so there's always Nike, then there's Adidas. There's always 2 at the top. And then there's a distant third. So whatever the third one is. So in America, it's Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and then there's RC Cola. So an RC Cola is much smaller. But our goal is to be basically, we don't have first mover advantage. Gala Games has first mover advantage, but we should we should end up with the second position. In what we do as gaming publishers, there's hundreds of games out there, but that's one game. Yeah. Like we've already got 3 games being developed, and that's our first year. Next year we'll buy another 3. So we sort of figure that managing more than 3 dev teams at a time in that first year. So it takes a year to get everything right on the business side. Are the staff all doing what they said? So devs work in a very peculiar way. Since they've got no money, they tend to get all their friends involved. And sometimes your best mate, Dave, might not be the best graphic artist you could get to do all your graphics. So when you've got money, you might have to say to Dave, look, Dave, thanks for helping out at the beginning, but I need to actually pay someone who's got better skills than you make this a professional game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we try not to do that, but obviously sometimes you come across people that just aren't quite ready for where the position is.
And how it works, you have 3 games in development and there are 3 different dev teams working on this in parallel, right?
Yeah, someone said to me the other day, why would you try and make 3 games at once? I said, I'm not. I don't make games.
Mm-hmm.
I have a dev team making 1 game. I have a dev team making another game, and I have a dev team making another game.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's 3 games being built. They're all being full dev teams, all making the game by themselves.
Yeah.
And then Daniel, our head, and we've got Bo. We've got Daniel's head of games. Underneath Daniel, we've got a guy called Bo. And those 2 have 20 years experience as game devs. And they go back to these young game devs who've got 5 years and 7 years and whatever experience, and they help them. And they say, why are you doing it that way? That's really slow. If you do this and this, you'll be able to speed that up. Or why are you working on that now? Do that later. We don't need audio right now. Do audio at the end. Let's worry about getting the artwork right. And so they've put out 200 games between them. When you've produced 200 games and got them to market, so Daniel's got a great saying, 50% of the effort of making a game is in the last 10%.
Oh, really?
Of the hour. So like everyone thinks, oh, I'm nearly finished. No, you're halfway. You've got to halfway. So when we buy a game at 80%, 90% finished, they're basically halfway. There's a lot of work to do to get that game polished and ready for putting into the market.
Yeah. And what is your crypto journey? Because you started crypto gaming company, so I assume you're having like you're a lover of crypto and you have some experience already with it. Like,
I am a lover of crypto. That is true. I am. I'm really passionate about it, and I don't know where that comes from. I think there's a sense of revolution in my heart. I actually want the money of the world to be in control of the people. Or actually, that's not quite true because we don't control it, but out of control of the governments might be a better answer. I want the money to belong to everyone, not to one person or a group of people that make decisions on it. So someone in America decided to print 80% of all American dollars in the last 2 years. No one asked the American people whether they wanted all their bank accounts to be dropped by 80%. That's a deflation of an enormous amount. So I really want to see, I think crypto is the shining hope. If we can get it right, and presuming, and it looks like Satoshi was correct, it looks like his model is actually working and it's turned out a bit differently to what he expected. But what we've got to really, really good, at least first step, but it's most probably going to be good enough to actually get us off the fiat system and onto a cryptocurrency system. And whether Bitcoin's our daily currency, probably not. Probably more a store of gold, and some other currency will step up to be the daily. Like Elon Musk says, the Dogecoin could be the daily currency. You know, like it's enough Dogecoin out there for everyone to have a lot.
Yes.
And you buy your fish and chips with, like you buy your food with Dogecoin, and just exchange that for Bitcoin when you want to save money. So you get paid in Dogecoin, and so there's a whole bunch of ways you could do it. I think we could make much better coins than Dogecoin. I don't like Dogecoin at all, but Elon plays around with that.
Yes, here.
Yeah. So I think for me, that's my heart. I really liked the idea of crypto, that it was taking back some control away from a few people in the world making a decision about money. And those decisions affect people. My mum's 84 years old, and her savings she's got X amount of money in the bank, and now it's worth a lot less this year because governments have printed more money. They didn't ring her up and ask her, would you mind if we stole this money? Like Robert Breedlove has a beautiful saying, counterfeiting is illegally printing money, right? And inflation is legally printing money.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. You're counterfeiting the money. It's just that government does it on one hand and a non-government person does it on the other. But the reason governments don't want anyone else doing it because it'll wreck the currency. So governments want the whole right to counterfeit the money themselves. And the trouble is I don't think they're qualified to look after it. So cryptocurrency has to come. Now, on top of that, that's my holistic idea, my goal. But on top of that, I want to make a lot of money. And cryptocurrency gives me, the small person, a chance that I don't normally get. I can go and find a small stock that's not very valuable, and I can make a calculated guess on whether that company might be successful. Are they in the right industry? Are they got good people? Blah, blah, blah. And if I do that enough times, let's say I get $10,000 or $20,000 investments over the next 10 years, one or two of those might go all the way to being valuable.
Yeah.
And I can't do that in any other thing. Stocks are too expensive. By the time the common man gets a chance to buy a stock, all the opportunity's been regulated out of it. Like, we don't get to invest in stock companies very easily. It's the big investors, the VCs, the seed capital investors. They're the ones that get all the opportunity. By the time it gets to the open market, the opportunity's been regulated out. So crypto still has that opportunity for me to invest a little bit of money. So I bought $1,000 worth of Shiba Inu last year, and it went up to $12,000. Well, that's a 1,200% return. That's a really nice return.
Yeah.
So I didn't sell it. I should have, but I didn't sell it. I thought it might go higher, and I still hold that Shiba Inu.
Yeah, it could be for sure.
I will wait for it to come back. It will come back.
Yeah.
But that's a terrible coin as well. But I do like the meme coins for the fun of them. They are fun.
Yes, they're fun. Yeah. And I also noticed that you're using Avalanche blockchain to build. And what may be the main reason for this? Because it's I'm curious why Avalanche.
Okay. I didn't choose Avalanche. My devs. So we've got two full-time devs. They weren't in my staff. I should mention them. They're full-time. They're blockchain devs and computer programming devs. So they run all our back end. They make sure our websites, and we've got website developers as well that work under them. But the two main devs run our smart contracts. So we have, I think we've got 5 smart contracts that run, and they all interlock. We've got 5 smart contracts, and then we've got our marketplace, and we've got our app that runs our bull coin and everything, and shows you how much bull coin you've got, and you can claim it. There's a whole app built into our Discord. You can access it from our Discord. You can go into our app. So those devs like Avalanche because it's really fast. The gas fees are really cheap. Their security is really high, and they've got a very active team. So I personally like Cardano, but they told me that although Cardano is very good, Avalanche is more game oriented. And for what we want to do in the future, Avalanche has some really big advantages. The other thing is that when we want to launch our own blockchain called Bull, which is hopefully going to happen before the end of the year. We're just doing all the background work on that. It's a lot of work to do that. And Avalanche provides what's called a subnet for us to do that on, where they look after the security for us and make sure that the really hard part, which is the security, is done by a huge team of professionals. And we can just make sure all our smart contracts and stuff are working properly. So that's another reason why we think Avalanche is a really good place.
Yeah, I also think like a great a blockchain plus for investors. It's also quite good opportunity to buy Avalanche too. So that's why I was curious why you're building on Avalanche.
Wow, yeah, well, we're talking about a buying opportunity for Avalanche. It's $18 or something at the moment, and it's when we started it was 98. So it's like all those, like Avalanche is a tier 1 stock, like in the top 50 or whatever. So when the bull market comes back, Avalanche will just go straight, not financial advice, blah, blah, blah. But I believe Avalanche will just go straight back to $100 almost instantly. So it'll be a few weeks.
Do you have like a feeling that bull market starts soon, or it's going to be in like 3 months, 5 months, like next year? Just your feelings about this. People are exhausted already with like almost 1 year since November, like with this like downtrends that long. Many are like leaving crypto. So,
well, look, I mean, we're already at the point where we're not the shortest bull run. So I think 2021 was shorter than what we've been in now. So we've already been in the bear market, the shortest bear market. So we've already been in the bear market longer than 2021, I believe. I'd have to check those stats. It's one of them. So my personal feelings are, it's hard to know what's hope and what's real, because obviously I hope it turns tomorrow and it starts going up.
yeah.
That's going to be very beneficial for me, and it's going to be very beneficial for all the people that invested in our company. I think from what I'm following, I think November will be bottom. If not, I actually agree with 0ld3ULL. I think we've reached bottom already, but I'm just sort of saying November is going to be bottom. Like that should be the end of the downward force. And we're really waiting for these last couple of Fed decisions on the interest rates to get out of the way. And once they're out of the way, I have a feeling that crypto might decouple from the main markets. So up till now, wherever the main market's gone, crypto's followed. So when the main market goes down, crypto goes down. When the main market goes up, crypto goes up. I think we're going to see them decouple. So you'll have, and we'll have crypto be its own thing, and it will have its own bull and bear markets and whatever else. And it should be more in tune with the 4-year halving of Bitcoin. So my gut feeling is November's bottom. Then we have a very slow upward movement where it just slowly goes up for about 6 months. And then round about 6 months before the halving, so April 2024, I think we're then going to see quite a sharp upward trend. And then after the halving, it's going to go ballistic. So I think it's going to be crazy after the halving. But I think the people that are going to make the most money are the ones buying now.
Yes.
I think we're so close to the bottom now. Even if it goes down one more leg, it doesn't matter. Just like, I bought a bunch of stock myself personally the other day, and it's already gone down. And it's very hard to look at that. You think, I should have waited. I could have bought it cheaper.
Yeah, but we still to continue to deceive.
It's still so cheap. As soon as the market turns, it'll just be instantly back over what I paid for it. So yeah, it'll be really good. So they're nice long-term holds.
Yeah, and Bullcoin price is also very good entry point for now. So I think it's like also could be considered as investment for sure for many people.
Well, look, I mean, there's a rule in crypto: don't ever invest what you can't afford to lose, because we don't know. I mean, if you say to me, Jono, can you promise me that this is not going to go broke? I can't promise that.
It's no one can.
Like,
so it's like
the bear market could continue for 5 years. The government could manipulate it and do things and try and crash Bitcoin, or who knows what could happen. Like, I don't know. But putting aside the worst case scenario, that's where governments get involved and try and crash the crypto market. And they've already tried that. It hasn't worked. I don't think they're going to keep trying it. It's very expensive to do. And there's only so many people in the crypto market that can help them. And I think most of those have done it. They've spent the money they had getting Bitcoin down $20,000. So I think there's been a couple of big manipulations. Now, I've got no proof of that, but when you look at some of the charts, there's huge sell-offs happening. They're very big players selling everything they own to try and put downward movement on the price. So putting aside worst case scenarios, and coming back to a more realistic opinion or view, the chances of playable games going out of business, as long as the bull market doesn't run, well, we won't go out of business. Our worst case scenario is we'd have to let most of our staff go. So if it goes for more than 18 months from now, we've got enough money to last about 18 months from now. So if the bear market kept going longer than 18 months and our bull price stayed as low as it is, then we're going to run out of money. So if that happened, well, then we'd have to lay off our staff, and my family and I would live off the savings we've got in the bank, and we'd take it. My wife and I, marketers, we'd take some marketing jobs, and we'd wait for the bull market to return. And when the bull market returns, we'd hire the staff again and we'd start. That's our worst case scenario. Now, that I don't think that will happen. I think the bull market will be back, hopefully November, definitely middle of next year, and a long time before we run out of money. So yeah, I'm very optimistic.
Yeah, if you get like work 8 months, like the same volume of people, it's actually very great already. So, and
18 months, not 8, 18.
Oh, it's so
yeah, year and a half. Yeah, year and a half.
Yeah, in this case, so, there is like zero risks. That I mean,
well, we're back at the halving then.
Yeah.
So, and if you look at every chart about the Bitcoin halving, when the halving happens, it goes straight up after the halving. So every time for the last 4 halvings. So it'll happen again. So I trust, I believe. I'm a believer.
And hope for the best. Yeah, and I will put all the links with Twitter, with all your websites, Discourse, to the like audience, that people also could check the website and join the community and know more like themselves, do their own research.
Of course.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for your like explanation, talking about like your company, because it's very interesting, and like everything you mentioned, it's valuable a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. It was very nice meeting you and talking to you.
Yeah.